Reformed thinking.
Welcome along to the deep dive. This is where we take the source material you send us and, well, we really dig into it. We try to pull out the core ideas, the interesting bits. And today, our focus is on a specific point in Christian's account, from the Pilgrim's Progress. It's about what happens when he gets to this really significant place and then who he meets right after.
That's right. We're looking closely at the details Bunyan gives us around Christian's arrival at the cross. It's such a well-known scene, isn't it?
It really is. So let's hit the scene first. Leading up to this moment, the source describes Christian. Well, he's running on this highway.
Yeah, but it's not easy going. The text says he runs, but not without great difficulty because of the load on his back. He's really struggling under this weight.
Burdened, that's the key word. And this highway he's on, it's described too, isn't it?
It is. It says the highway was fenced on either side with a wall, and that wall was called salvation. So he's definitely on the designated path.
But finding it hard work because of the burden. Okay, so he keeps running like this.
Till he came to a place somewhat ascending, so the ground starts to rise a bit.
And what's at the top of this rise?
Upon that place stood a cross.
Simple as that, a cross. And there's something else nearby.
Yes, just a little below, in the bottom, the text mentions a sepulchre, a tomb.
So you've got this layout. Rising ground, cross on top, tomb at the bottom. It feels very intentional.
It does. It really sets the stage for what happens next, which is the absolute core of this passage.
And what is that? What happens when he reaches the cross?
The account says, just as Christian came up with the cross, his burden loosed from off his shoulders and fell from off his back.
Just like that. Just as he gets there.
Exactly. The timing is immediate. He reaches the cross, the burden falls. No struggle on his part at that moment. It just loosens.
And where does it go? Does it just land at his feet?
No, the description is specific. It began to tumble.
Tumbling downwards towards the sepulchre.
Right. It continued to do so till it came to the mouth of the sepulchre, where it fell in, and I saw it no more.
I saw it no more. That's striking. It's not just off his back. It's gone. Disappeared into the tomb.
Which connects later to his song, where he wonders, must hear the strings that bound it to me crack. It's a definite break, a release. The burden is removed, permanently, it seems.
So this whole event is instantaneous, tied to arriving at the cross and the sepulchre. How does Christian react? He's been running with such difficulty.
Well, his whole demeanor changes. Then was Christian glad and lightsome.
Glad and lightsome. That's a world away from burdened and struggling.
And he speaks, doesn't he? With understanding.
Yes. With a merry heart, ye have given me rest by his sorrow and life by his death. He immediately connects his relief to Christ's work.
He understands the source of his newfound rest in life.
And the text points out his reaction to how it happened.
It does. It says, it was very surprising to him that the sight of the cross should thus ease him of his burden.
Surprising. So it wasn't something he achieved, but something that happened to him when he looked.
The sight itself seems to be the trigger. And because it was so surprising, he doesn't just move on quickly.
No, he pauses. Then he stood still a while to look and wonder.
He really takes it in. He looked, therefore, and looked again, contemplating what just occurred.
And this contemplation brings out a strong emotion.
Yes, even till the springs that were in his head sent the waters down his checks. He wept.
Tears. Not of sorrow, presumably, but...
Gratitude, maybe. Overwhelm. Relief. The text connects the looking and the weeping. He's processing the immense change.
And it's right then, isn't it? While he's standing there looking, weeping.
Behold, 3 shining ones came to him. Celestial beings appear.
And they greet him.
They do. Peace be to thee. A fitting greeting for someone who's just found rest.
And they don't just greet him, they each do something specific. What does the first one do?
The first one addresses the core issue. Thy sins be forgiven thee. A clear declaration. Bunyan even links it to Mark chapter 2.
Forgiveness announced. What about the second shining one?
The second one deals with his appearance, his state. He stripped him of his rags and clothed him with change of raiment. Bunyan points to Zechariah 3 for this.
So his old covering, maybe representing his sin or self-righteousness, is gone, replaced with something new.
A new status, a new covering, and then the third.
The third one gives him 2 things.
Right. He set a mark in his forehead and gave him a roll with a seal upon it.
A mark and a sealed roll. What's the roll for?
He's told to look on it as he ran, and crucially, that he should give it in at the celestial gate. This is his assurance, his sort of entry pass linked to Ephesians 1.
So forgiveness, new clothes representing a new state, a mark of identity and a sealed assurance for the way ahead. That's quite the package.
It really is. And after delivering these, the text says simply, so they went their way.
Leaving Christian completely changed. How does he respond now?
Pure joy. Then Christian gave 3 leaps for joy.
3 leaps, you can almost see it. Physical, uncontainable joy.
And he doesn't just leap, he bursts into song and went on singing.
And his song reflects everything that just happened.
Absolutely. He sings about coming laden with my sin, nor could aught ease the grief that I was in till I came hither. He identifies this place as the point of relief.
He calls it the beginning of my bliss, doesn't he? Like, this is where the good part starts.
Yes, and he connects it all back. Must hear the burden fall from off my back, must hear the strings that bound it to me crack. He's marveling at the release he just felt.
And he blesses the place and the person.
Blessed cross, blessed sepulchre, blessed rather be the man that there was put to shame for me. He ties the location and the relief firmly to Christ's sacrifice for him.
So the contrast is stark. From burden runner to lightsome, pardoned, newly closed, marked, assured, leaping, singing pilgrim. A pivotal moment.
Undeniably. But Bunyan doesn't let him linger solely in that joy without showing the next reality of the walk.
Right, the account moves on fairly quickly. Christian keeps going.
He went on thus, even until he came at a bottom, a low point in the terrain, perhaps.
And what does he see there?
Something very different from the shining ones. He saw, a little out of the way, 3 men fast asleep, with fetters upon their heels.
Asleep, with chains on their feet, and a little out of the way, not even on the main path.
Precisely. A complete contrast to Christian's current state. He's awake, free, joyful, moving forward on the highway called salvation. These men are inactive, bound, and off course.
And Bunyan gives them names, doesn't he? Allegorical names.
He does. The name of the one was Simple, another Sloth, and the third Presumption.
Simple, sloth, and presumption. What do they represent? What's the danger Bunyan is highlighting here?
Well, looking at their state asleep, bound off the path they seem to stand for spiritual hazards. Simple might be ignorance or gullibility, maybe. Sloth is clearly spiritual laziness, unwillingness to press on.
And presumption.
Perhaps overconfidence, a false sense of security that leads to carelessness, maybe thinking they're safe without needing to be vigilant or stay on the path. They represent conditions that stop progress towards the celestial city.
So right after Christian's amazing experience of release and assurance, he immediately encounters these figures representing complacency, idleness, false confidence.
Yes, it's a caution, isn't it? Even after such a high point, dangers and pitfalls exist, often right nearby, slightly off the path.
So, thinking about this whole section for you, the listener, what can we draw from this?
Well, you could consider that picture of the burden falling off at the cross and rolling into the sepulchre. What does that specific imagery suggest about how release from sin and guilt happens?
And maybe think about the gifts from the shining ones. Forgiveness spoken, new clothing given, a mark applied, a sealed roll for assurance. What does getting these things after the burden is gone tell you about the results of that event at the cross? It's not just subtraction, but addition too.
Definitely. And then there's the contrast with simple, sloth, and presumption appearing immediately after. What might their presence right there suggest about the need to remain watchful, to keep moving, to avoid drifting off the path even after a significant spiritual experience?
Yeah, that's a good point. Leads to a final thought, maybe. What does it mean to keep looking back, in a sense, to the cross and the sepulchre as you continue on? How might remembering that sight, that release, help someone stay awake, stay active, stay on that highway called salvation, and avoid ending up like simple sloth or presumption, something to mull over?